Hi everybody, it's Amber here for Tune In Tuesday for Hope, Healing Our Past Experiences. And as I was preparing for the video today, I had a couple of different thoughts, and really they were just in total opposite directions. And so I was really unsure until the last few minutes which topic I was going to discuss this week. And I think we're just going to go with the topic of control, because honestly it's just one of those things that many of us use as a coping way of life whenever we had no control over our abuse or trauma that has taken place in our life. And so we begin picking up control in pretty much any other place that we can. And for me, like, I didn't realize for the longest time, really in all the areas that I had become controlling. I'm pretty laid back and fun-hearted when it comes to a lot of things, but it was in those little things where I really thought that I had to appear to have it all together. I know that I am not the only one out there that struggles with that or had struggled with that. I've gotten so much better, and the fear of being rejected by not having it all together has totally dissipated. And so I'm just a work in progress, and so I just want people to accept me for me. And so with that being said, you know, I really had just been encouraged this week. One of my daughters wanted to paint a room at a trailer that we sometimes host other families and things like that. And it wasn't colors that I would have picked, by no means. It wasn't a combination. And she's just turned into a teenager, and so she doesn't have experience painting. And so I had a choice. You know, my choice was that I could allow her to paint that room, and I could encourage her and her effort and appreciate her best. Or I could say no, do it myself, and show her that her best isn't good enough. And so I didn't always see it that way. And, you know, there's a time for correction and there's a time for teaching and all of that. But she was so excited to be able to do something that needed to be done that I had to choose to let her do that. And although it's not painted the way I would have done it, doesn't make it wrong. And so going back to what I've said before, is a perpetrator only fears confidence. It's the only thing a perpetrator fears, whether they're Satan, who's a perpetrator, and a molester of souls are sexual perpetrators. And so my goal is to raise confident children. And so in part, you know, I have to choose those ways that I can pour into my children. I can invest into my children to raise them to be confident. Now, some of you might think, well, this doesn't apply to me because I don't have children. When maybe you have a spouse. And you know, my husband started out being a very confident man, but after being with me for many years, and as the after effects of my baggage from my sexual trauma, I just kind of propelled them on him. And through, I'm going to say, my nagging, because I did that as a way to kind of keep some distance and didn't want to be intimate, even though I loved him and I do love him. That was just so dark for me. It had been tainted at a very early age. Intimacy had been. And so we can talk about that a whole nother time. But just going back to that control, through my way of controlling and shaming on money issues and so many other things, limiting and withholding my love and my praise and all those things, that's all control that I was doing. And that I did that to my husband. I did that to my kids. And that sounds horrible. And so you can probably hear in the background kids playing and things like that. There has just been some things going on this week that have us in a different place right now, and that's okay. I just didn't get to step away and make a video like I normally do. And really the deciding factor on sharing control with you today was I had one of my girls color me a picture. And I want to share that with you because it says, every moment matters. And she put the McCutcheon clan. We're a larger family, I'll be honest. But that doesn't matter. Any size your family. If you're an only child, I'm an only child, you know, so you may feel alone. But I want you to grasp the concept that every moment matters. And how we spend those moments matter. And so you can spend those moments really choosing to be that work in progress, or you can choose those moments to be bitter. And then you've wasted that time away, because bitterness is not going to serve you anything. It's just going to breed more bitterness. And so you're going to be miserable. I often use the phrase miserably content, because that's what I was for several years before realizing that things had to change. And really the change had to start with me. So I just want to encourage you today to just relinquish some of that control and ask yourself, is this really going to matter? And do I have to be Is this a decision that I have to feel like I am in the right about, or I am in control about, or can I kind of let go? And is it really not going to matter that much? And so I can encourage and release and know that it's okay. It's okay. And I kind of used like a silly example today, but I trust you. There are a lot of other ways that you can think of control that maybe you struggle with in your life. And so I just want to encourage you. You're not alone. And we're in this together. And I love being part of your healing journey. Tune in next week for Tune In Tuesday. I look forward to that. Send me your questions where we can discuss the tough stuff. And I can share your stories of hope and how you're coming along in your healing journey. Send those to amber@2tryhope.com. Check us out on our website at www.2tryhope.com. See y'all later. Thanks.